The creator effect. Could it be today that everything you say, you do, and whatever actions you take will create something?
Then the creator effect is we have to enforce something different in our mindset, in our thoughts, in our feeling to create something different than our past.
How you can create whatever you want to, and how to shift this old mindset, this old imagination, these old feelings into the right direction.
We have the power to create the external that we desire inside.
The creator effect. Could it be today that everything you say, you do, and whatever actions you take will create something? So Martine and I today are going to talk about how you can create whatever you want to, and how to shift this old mindset, this old imagination, these old feelings into the right direction. Martine, today we're going to have a real good time together.
Absolutely. This is so good what we're going to talk today, because when we realize who we are and our divine nature, this is so powerful because we realize that we can create the life we desire, Allen. We're not victim of this life. We are created at the image of God, and God is the creator, and He created us in His own image, and He called us to create here on earth and to create the life our heart desire. And this is something, Allen, we discovered many years ago, and said we're not going to stay victim of the circumstances. Instead, we're going to create the life we want, right?
Yes, absolutely. You know, a lot of people will say a lot of things and how they're going to do this and do that. But the thing is they start creating, speaking, feeling the past. Now, this is very important, because if you live in that past, how many conversations we have, we sit down with people and the only thing they talk about is what happened. Always talking about the past, where they lived, what they were doing before. And very rarely we will get the creator effect for the future. They're creating that past and their future because they're stuck there in their imagination, in their feelings, and their conversations. That's where the focus is. They're not focusing on the conversation we were having, sitting down like a good mentorship would do, is to talk about the future, what you want to create. And that's a very big problem with most people we meet.
Yes, we have to use the spiritual law connected, synergized with the natural law. And you're talking about a spiritual law, the law of focus, because when you focus somewhere, it's just going to increase. Then the majority of people, they just go with the flow and they focus according to their past, their circumstances, what they live right now, what they face right now, and they allow that, the external situation, to affect their internal. This is why we need to realize that we have the power to create the external that we desire inside. And you know, it's written, so men thinking it's hard, so easy. Then what I think, and you were talking about that, you know, what I think the first principle, what we see in our life, it's because we thought about it. And what you think constantly, you're going to believe it, and what you believe, you're going to create this reality. Then the creator effect is we have to enforce something different in our mindset, in our thoughts, in our feeling, to create something different than our past. Not repeat the same pattern, cycle, again and again, in the same place, year after year. You know, we are born to create in our life, and this is the power and the dominion that was given to us on this earth.
God gave the earth to man. He says, I give you the earth. So go bring my blessing and just work on making sure that you and your descendants will repeat what you're doing, and even better, because it's 3-4 generations. Every time God speaks about anything, He speaks about 3-4 generations. There's a cycle there. So if we were brought up into a mindset, because your whole life is inner, is what was programmed in that's who you are. Naturally, you're not supposed to be all that, because when we start working on ourselves and start thinking, okay, I'm a co-creator with God. Okay, how does that work, right? Okay, he gave me talents, gifting to produce and multiply and dominate and take control of my territory in my gifting. So now, whatever I say I do, it's going to affect, it's going to create. I'm a co-creator with God on this earth. Now, what do you want to create today? Because if you're living in the past, I know you were brought up in a certain mentality, words, everything, the environment just programmed us to think, sleep, talk, all the same way, even with finances and whatever area of our lives. So if we're co-creators and we're just co-creating whatever the generations, 3, 4 generations down, they did that, I did it. My grandpa had some Ford, my dad had some Ford, and I'm buying Ford. Now, that's the problem. We're co-creating and just repeating that old cycle from generation to generation, Martine. How to get out of there?
First of all, first point, you need to identify what you think, because often we don't think what we think. And we have to identify what I'm thinking, this internal conversation we can have. Is it going to create the life I want? Who do I want to be this year? What do I want to create this year? And you need to align what you think inside this internal conversation has to be adjusted in line with what you want to create, because so many things are so easy. What you believe, what you think, you're going to create it. And this is the power we have. And if you're not conscious about that, you're just going to repeat the same cycle and pattern that where you come from your family, from your childhood. You're just going to repeat the same thing. This is why you need to identify that, and to identify this internal conversation you can have day after day after day. Because, Allen, this is not something you do, sometime will affect your life. It's something you do all the time with repetition. It's not a day that you don't eat so well that's going to really affect your health. It's if you every day you don't eat well, that it's going to affect. And the other side too, if you eat well every day, it's going to affect, positively your result in your life. Then my point is, this internal conversation will create your future. Are you taking control over that? Or you just allow these voices to talk to you, showing you bad scenario, and you're going to recreate, the life where you come from, and you're going to recreate the same cycle in your life.
People believe a lot of lies, right? This like lies that were sowed into their lives, into their soul, and it just keep repeating themselves. Their old mentality, because the only thing we understood, because we were pastors for 16 years. I mean, people would come to us every single day. What's going on with this, that, the other thing, and we realized everything was law. God is law. I mean, his laws work. And sometimes, and most of the times, a lot of laws connect together to get a result, right? And if you believe lies, Martine, I know you can give a couple of lies that we can believe, and that's going to stop the flow. Because if you think in your heart, in your mind, something, you believe it.
Yeah.
And whatever comes in, you believe that's what you believe. And what's going to happen? The same eternal stuff. So the lies are little foxes, caught on fire in a cornfield. It'll burn everything down.
The people that believe in God, they receive the teaching that God is a judge, is a father, is a friend. He's a judge. He has laws. And he is faithful to his laws that he established. If you don't understand the law, you're going to perish. It's why when you realize so many kind of cliche and repetitive lie, then out of context, then keep the people stuck in old cycle. Like this example, let's go with confronting some lie right now. God is in control, then when you take this phrase out of context, it gives just the permission to deresponsibilize yourself, then you have something to do. Because anyway, God is in control. But God is in control of the humanity. God is in control of his agenda. God is in control, about everything he said that's going to come to pass. But because God is love, he gave us a free will to decide what we're going to do with our life. He has a plan for our life. He has a destiny. He has a book of destiny, for our life, for each of us. But we have the free will to decide what we're going to do with that. Then we have the control to decide what we're going to do. Are we going to do our destiny? Are we going to fulfill the reason why we're here and to build our life? Or we decide that we're going to destroy our life? And to follow this internal conversation of these voices coming from generation and from our childhood and from the experience to decide what we're going to do with our life. It's our choice. We're in control to decide which voices are we going to listen. Then the voice of God or the voice of generations? Faith or fear? This is all the stuff that we realize, okay, you have the law of gravity. Gravity, God created gravity. And if you say you're in the, in the building and you're going to jump and say, whatever, God is in control, and you jump and you kill yourself and say, God, you are in control. You decide to break the law and the law broke you because you disobey. You disobeyed this law that God created. God is in his law and his law is in him. Then this is why we need to realize to change a cycle in our life. If we continue to believe some lie out of context, because of course he's in control. God is in control of the humanity and his agenda. But for your life, he gave you the free will. Are you going to listen his will for your life? Or are you going to decide to just listen the voices of generation, your feeling that it's not in line with God's will? All of that, Alan. So many people, they believe in God, but they're stuck in some old cycle because they're responsibilized saying, God is in control. You're late at your job every time and you lose your job and you say God is in control. No, you broke some law, to not be on time and to the law of timing, then you lost favor. I can just go on.
Yeah. Well, a lot of high achievers come to us backstage. They call us up and they say, hey, I'm facing this challenge. This is my goal. And this is the next level. Because for me and you, we are experts on bringing people to the next level. And we've been doing this for a long, long time, a couple of decades now. And that's what we were thinking about a long, long time ago in our lives. How can I set in place, in motion, laws, because we love God and we served God. We still do. And that's why we say to people, give me 12 months and I'll change your life. A lot of people come to us in our masterclass and mentorship behind the scene to learn these 12-month laws that God put in place. And when you know those laws, something starts to accelerate. So anybody that's really serious about accelerating, put in the comments down there. I want to accelerate my life. Now, to come back, high achievers, they don't like to waste time. They're high achievers. That's why that's their DNA. So that's why they pay us to consult for strategies, concepts, and especially to bring God into this. Because a lot of people do not go to church no more. They're successful, and we've got a lot of people backstage, and they think that God is the God who will bring you to the next level. So how can I mix with the other rest of the crowd? So they come to us and we become their spiritual advisors. Now, to come back to the fast results, it's the laws you connect. And somebody that wants to go to the next level, high achiever, they want somebody that's going to bring strategies in. They don't want lies. We're going to break lies. And we're going to change their mindset. Even the high achievers, there's places in their lives, there's cycles they just can't get rid of. They've tried this, they've tried that, and they'll call us in because we can take and break those cycles. 12 months later, these cycles have totally changed because there's a really secret behind this in those 12 months that God gave us, and most people don't know what it is all about, Martine.
Yeah, I was talking with a client yesterday, and she said she's a businesswoman, very successful, and she said, believing God, and she was seeking for answer in her life, and just the same kind of cliche, repetitive answer that was not helping her to bring solutions, strategies, what to do. You know, we are builders, we are high achievers. We want to have strategies to create results and go higher and progress. And I'm thinking about, because we're talking about the law, and when you understand the synergy of the spiritual law with the natural, we were called by our high achiever clients. And for years, he was struggling to fix a problem that happened in his business. And he was surrounded by a lot of different advisors to try to fix this situation. But the environment, this advisor was speaking all the time. It's going to be long. It's going to take time. It's not going to be easy. It's, you know, like the carnal way, the natural way, and we are spiritual. And he was surrounded by this kind of words around him. And life and death is in the power of your tongue. And we just speak over a plant. You know, this experience scientifically happened, you know, like speak life or speak death, and you're going to see the result. The nature proved the power we have. And he was surrounded by these advisors, and we said, okay, we have to stop that because you're stuck in this same cycle and you don't use a creator effect. You're just stuck there, like whereas everybody can stay stuck. If you want to activate, give us 12 months and we're going to help you. It was stuck for years and years, paying a lot of money with this advisor to try to change the situation. But he was surrounded by advisor, professional expertise, but they were disobeying spiritual law. And he was stuck there. And when we showed him how to activate this spiritual law and how to change that, in the same year, all his goals that he was struggling for years came to pass. This is the power to understand the creator effect, and you cannot use a creator effect without understanding the law, the spiritual law in synergy with the natural law, because you have to use the spiritual law in the natural also. And Alan, this is something that really changed our life and help us to change cycle to cycle and not repeat the same life. You know, so many people, they're 70 years old, 80 years old, and say, what happened with my life? With all this potential, all these gifts, everything. And my life was stuck at the same place. Then you can change your life and you can understand your power and the creator effect.
You see, when we think about David and Goliath, this is the oldest story, people of faith understand, even people with no faith in God, they heard this story. This guy walks in, for 40 days, people are afraid of this adversary, which is very strong, and they try to make something else of David. David is this guy with that gifting, that talent. And then they try to put this armor on him, and it's too heavy. The tools, it's not him. He says, listen, how much is going to pay me to get on this situation done? So he says, no more income tax, and so on, so on. I'll give you my girl. He says, good, all right, let me go with who I am, because I'm used to creating rapidly, have rapid results with who I am. Just let me go. What's the worst case scenario? I'm going to get killed, right? So I'm the guy who's going to be dying on the field there. So he was bold. He took what he was. There's laws there that he applied, this boldness, right? He looked right in the eye and he says, today, today. So when you are...
He spoke life. He spoke victory.
He saw it. He saw the victory. He saw it because David was protecting the animals with his slingshot. There was one thing, he killed the animal, it would just with his slingshot, zoom, the rock would hit. So the animal was stunned and he would run to it and cut the neck right off, right? Bleed the animal. So that's how he did it. And that's exactly how he confronted Goliath. He said to him, I'm going to cut your head off. How can you do that? He's
And
got no
Alan,
sword on him.
exactly. He knew, he saw it. He saw
He
it
saw
before
it.
the end. He was already
Yeah.
there before he was there. But how many people didn't do anything?
God's in
You know,
control.
waiting. God is in control. But day after day, Goliath was coming back.
That's
Then
right.
David decided, I take control.
I take control.
And this is why we have the power to shape our reality.
Uh-huh.
Then this is why we have to take control of our destiny, our life. This is what God is waiting after us.
Mm-hmm.
David took control. He saw it. It's enough. Let's do it. And he applied different law in this story. And you were talking about, he saw it. He saw the end. Before he started to say it, spoke the victory, and he was intimidated by everybody around. First of all, his family, right? Nothing new under the sun. After that, by an authority, didn't believe in him. And after that, the enemy himself. 3 voices that came against, tried to intimidate him. This is why when we understand how to use this mentorship, we can have the same kind of victory than David received. And he was promoted. Because behind every challenge is an opportunity for promotion.
Yep.
And the creator effect is, I take charge, I can shape my reality, I take control over my destiny, and behind these challenges, I'm gonna just go and confront that with the spiritual law in action, because David didn't just stay and pray and God is in control and God is gonna do something. He did something by applying the spiritual law. And this is another lie that a lot of people are gonna say. They're gonna repeat, the battle belonged to the Lord. And it's, again, another cliche repeated, that they responsibilize God will do the battle. I have nothing to do. Stay sit on your couch, wait after God, and maybe one day when you're going to wake up, it's going to be done.
You'll lose 100 pounds.
But if we go back in context, you know, this story with Josephat is to understand that God gave instruction. Like David received instruction, right? And he went to war and he gave instruction what to do and say, do what I tell you to do, and I'm going to do the battle. But
That's
not
right.
just stay there and don't do anything. No, do what I'm telling you to do. Behind every instruction, you have a blessing. You have a, you know, do this and I'm going to fight for you. I'm going to be with you. This is what we teach all the time. We're co-creator with God. And the creator effect, it's given to us. And so many clients, you know, we help them to go to their next level again and again and again and again. And more you do it, faster you have the result.
It's very interesting because the creator effect and the high achievers is very easy to make them understand that because it's in their DNA. They love to go to the next level. And when you work with the creator effect, what happens is you become who you're supposed to be, because the creator effect pushes you, it shifts your mind because everything is in the mind. And whatever you think repeatedly and see and feel, it's going to be created because God created us at his own image, creator effect. So the more you go up, the more your levels get higher, you become more and more you. Because a lot of bad stuff, corruption, contamination in your mind has disappeared to get you to the next level. So that's when we put strategies and laws, because laws will bring you up there. And once you understand how strategically to put those laws, when to pull it, every single month for 12 months. What are you going to do? You've got to create every single month that special key that's going to bring you to the next month. And that's what we do with people. Then 12 months later, they become more them, because if your mind shifts, your actions, you become a co-creator, then you get inspired by God a lot easier. Who's talking to you? Then you can hear God, because a lot of times you're not hearing God. You got all kinds of voices, you're not hearing God. But if you're being you, then all of a sudden, what happens, sometimes we got clients just 5 degrees aside of what they're supposed to do, just 5 degrees, and they're miserable. They're blocked there, they're challenge after challenge. We bring them back to who they really are. And then bang, they just kick in. They're high achievers. They want to run. David, as soon as he said that, he ran. He didn't walk, he ran. And that's how an high achiever is made. If you want to become the real you, you've got to connect to God. The more you connect to God, that heaven on earth happens. And then boom, the expansion starts, Martine.
This principle is for us. It's for the people, they believe in God. This is for us to use it. The secret of the kingdom of God, to use it. Then we have to understand that your life reflects your inner belief.
Inside
where
out.
You come from programming you to have a belief that created your life. And if you want to change your life, you have to change your inner belief. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. What you believe, you're going to receive. And this is why people, they don't realize how many lies, how many things, fact, or truth according to this world, but it's not the truth according to your divine nature. And this is why you repeat the same old cycle in your life, like your old life. But you're supposed to create new cycle for your new life. And if you don't like what you see, it's the manifestation of what you believed. Then if you change that, and this is one of the law I learned. This is this internal conversation. It's a law of cycle. It's a law of patterns, paradigms, icon inside of you. This kind of demon from generation that tried to create the same fear. And if you believe this fear, you're going to be stuck there and you're going to recreate the same result. You're going to take the same kind of decision. You're going to react the same way. You're going to quit the same way you always quit. But if you realize that and you refuse, it's not you, it's this voice that was talking to your dad, to your grandparents, to your mom. You have the power to refuse this, to not recreate the same thing in your life. I would like to know, do you have some voices that talk to you sometime? Like kind of conversation that is not necessarily what you want? You have some battles? Just let us know. We want to help you. We want to be there for you, Allen and I. Because in our own life, we decided to confront this kind of voices and apply the law of success. And this is why we're still married after 24, 25 years now. And not just married, very happy married. You know, we receive some fact in our life that we decide, no, this is not what we're going to receive. We have the power to create what we want. And when we understand that, we know how to use the law, Allen, 12 months, after 12 months, it's changed everything.
Absolutely. That is so important to find out who you are. And as we take those layers off of you, of your soul, of your mind, and you start creating who you are supposed to be, where you're supposed to be, see what you're supposed to see, feel what you're supposed to feel, then everything changes. You see, strategy, concepts, will bring you to your destiny. Waiting unto God is not going to help you. If you're inspired by God and you bring God with you to dominate, to take territory, to bring that blessing, now you're talking. I mean, what can you give him except the becoming myself, to becoming me, to whatever I was supposed to do at the end of this road, at the end of this whole deal, before I leave this planet, I have done. I have brought the territory, did whatever thing I was supposed to do, and I fought and I got it. But now, the creator effect, 12 months, it's going to be a lot easier to have results, a lot quicker. So if your money is blocked, there's spiritual laws. There's something blocking that money. Money is spiritual. You're not pulling no more. Next level, you need to understand those laws and that 12-month cycle.
Exactly. And this is why I'm just going to address some things here because
Go.
I just feel inspired that the
Go.
people can understand some principle to change their life, the creator effect.
Yeah.
And this is something, Alan, that I love to just put pictures, but this is your life. This is you. And this is your life right now. And you have dream. This is your destination. You have dream to have freedom, to have the lifestyle you want, to have the health you want, the money, the income you would like, the marriage you would like. And this is your dream. This is where you would like to be. And this is, you say, you hear this teaching, say this is a creator effect. And if I can learn the spiritual law, I'm going to create my life. And the majority of people, Alan, they're here, they're not there yet, and they have kind of situation in their life, circumstances in their life, because this situation where you are right now, the struggle, everything you face in your life, come from your belief, come from the influence also, the spiritual influence from the past, because remember, it's a law, the love cycle, the love pattern that try to stay in your life. And what you see right now in your life that you don't like what you see. You would like to be here. The majority of people, they don't understand this law. They pay attention to their external circumstances now, and they stop to be there, and to see it and to use the spiritual law to create that. Then what is happening? Because they pay attention of what was created from the past, then they're stuck here in this matrix forever because they pay attention to what is going on right now in their life instead to say, I'm already there before I get there. And I'm going to use a spiritual law 12 months to create progress to get what I want. And the majority of people, they stay in this matrix because they're frustrated. They don't have the money they would like to have. They don't have the relationship that they would like to have. They don't have the body. And it's diet after diet because they're stuck in this matrix. What they see, what they feel, what they face right now, and they don't move forward to here and using the spiritual law to create the life they want. And this is why they repeat the same cycle, and they're not operating the creator effect. What do you think about that?
Well, that's absolutely, it is, right? From before, today, and after. Most people, their focus is on the past. Their conversations are on the past. They're recreating because they're co-creators with God. So they're recreating that past. And that's very drastic because then you get frustrated. Your money's not going where it's supposed to be. So and plus all the ideas, that you could have had. If you're not there, what's going to happen? You're going to recreate that past. But if you're there already, what happens then? The environment is going to shift. Other people are going to walk into your life because you're so much in that place in the future. You bring it into the now, then everything around you starts to change. Then ideas, contacts, relationships, the flow becomes easy because you're going out there, you're bringing back into your now, and you live in that now from the future all the time. Then you're creating, then the heaven on earth effect will happen. those laws will operate. I mean, Peter walked on water. He was just a fisherman. So there's stuff we got to understand between those two worlds, the synergy of those two worlds. They create something in the natural.
Is to bring the heaven on earth. And I just want to take back your example with David. He was already there. He said, today I'm going to cut your head.
Yeah.
And he didn't stay in the external situation to say, oh, people, they were mocking him, and Goliath was mocking him. You're not going to succeed. You're not going to. No. He didn't look at here. He was already there. And this is how he activated the supernatural victory in his life. If you are watching this podcast right now and you say, you need really to understand you have this power to create what you want. When the doctor told me, it's impossible, you're never going to have babies. It's impossible. You can't. Alan and I, we decided, no way. We have this power to create what our heart desires. It's a promise for our life. We will do it. We will create that. And we were not stuck on what we receive in the natural, the fact, the situation, but we decided to be already there and to create that, to create what we wanted in our heart. And this is what we apply in every area in our life, in our finances, in our relationship, in our health, for your family, and we continue to do it. And this is what you can learn and you can do. You know, Alan, we're not called to stay victim of the past, victim of what people they said about us, or our family have done, or we have done. We have the power to rewrite the story and to decide this year, what are we going to create? What are we going to do? And you have to be like a bulldog, to be absolutely decided to grab that and to invest in that and to change your life, because this is what you can do.
The creator effect. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going around there to really learn how to do this. That's why we always say, give us 12 months. People come in, they come down in Arizona, spend weeks with us, weekends, because we teach them how to go to that next level, to create it, because it's something you never created before, Martine. This is people got to understand what we're talking about. If you've never done it, you've never lived it, how do you create it? So you need help. So that's why people come to us for that, because that next level is always tough, right? And if it takes too much time to create it, you're going to let go. People just back off. They say, whatever, it's not made for me. Another lie, right? It wasn't for me. A life happens to me. Are you serious? There's people that died. A lot of people, all kinds of stuff happened to them. Did life happen for them? Or they switched to, okay, I've been beaten up, I've been this, I've been poor, I went bankrupt, whatever happened in your life. You say, okay, now I want to create something else. I want to be that lineage, that next generation that's going to shift everything.
Yeah, and the people, they have the power to decide to continue to believe some lie, or to decide to go and get, their promises and their victories. And when we wait after God, God is waiting after us. And today you need to take action, to take back control of your life, because God is waiting after you to take back control of your territory. And this is everybody, all our clients, we help them to accelerate their goals, to accelerate the success, what they want to reach, by understanding the synergy of the spiritual law with the natural. Now, when we believe a lie, you're going to be bound by this lie, because the truth's going to set you free. The truth sets you free. What you believe, you're going to create. Then if you believe God is in control and you stay victim of everything, Alan, I grew up with this kind of teaching again and again. And you know what? I realized, how can you say that when you say people, good people, broke and the mafia rich? What is going on? You need to take control of your life and to create and to shape the reality you want in your life. And for that, you need right now to say, it's enough. I'm going to rise up. I'm going to invest in myself. I'm going to use the right mentorship. I'm going to connect with the right people. I'm going to connect with the Wilkies. I'm going to invest in myself, and I'm going to create the life that I desire. And God will move with you like he moved with David. And this is how you can connect and activate heaven on earth.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to the end right now. And I just want to say that when I was young, I would have loved to hear this teaching.
Oh my.
These concepts, because I came from a very, very low family. And although that I love them, what they sowed in my life, and at one point I was working very, very, very hard. And I said, what's happening with my money? Nobody could answer me. Nobody could answer me. They would say, try harder, try harder. Okay. It's not going to work. So there's a lot of people now, especially with the online stuff, that are going online trying to make money. And very few of them make money. A lot of the people lose money online if we go to the truth here, because the creator effect is working in the wrong direction. And if that's you, just put a comment down there. I mean, we're your friend. Martine and I, we're friends. We love to have friends and to understand we're not there to judge, but we're there to help people achieve the goal, the level, the next level by teaching people how to create that, not judge them, but to create. We got your back. So if you want help, just click down there and we'll answer you. We'll send you to the right place. And that's it. That's all I had to say. I mean, we care about people.
That's so good. I just want to finish that with this, okay? What you desire, desire you. What you desire you. But why it's not coming in your life? Why you don't have yet what you desire, if it's desire you? Something here is missing. You need to learn that. It's going to change your life. And what you desire is going to come to pass. We bless you. We love you. And see you in the next video. Bye-bye.